Hello everybody! I just wanted to make a quick patrons-only video, first because I said I would start doing that in lieu of blooper reels, but also because this topic specifically I think is interesting, but not interesting enough to warrant a full video for the public. And that is the simple fact for me that my conclusion regarding assisted suicide, on a high level, is very similar, if not identical, to my conclusion about gender reassignment surgery and hormone therapy for people with gender dysphoria. Stated at kind of a high level, principled level, for both of these things, assisted suicide and gender reassignment surgery and hormone therapy, I would say, unless there is a better way to alleviate these people's suffering, the best we can do is give them what they want, subject to a mental evaluation to ensure that that's really what they want. With regard to assisted suicide, I do think assisted suicide, doctor-assisted suicide, should be legal. I made a video about this years ago. But I do think, as I said, this should be subject to an evaluation by a mental or just otherwise medical professional. If it's simply because of depression or something, the obvious question is, okay, well, has everything else been tried? Even if traditional therapy doesn't work, you could say, okay, well, does your life just suck? Maybe you need to get a new career or something. That's kind of the premise of Fight Club, if I'm not mistaken. Or, of course, if it's like some terminal cancer thing, that's easier to sell. But again, in principle, the idea, I think, is basically, look, unless there's anything else we can do, I don't see why not give them what they want. But, that whole qualifier of unless there's something else is why you have the medical professional screening. In the case of transgenderism, or rather patients with gender dysphoria, the question that needs to be evaluated is, okay, but do they really have gender dysphoria? Like I said, I do agree that we should allow people to transition. I think that's a legitimate thing that helps people. But apparently, and this is just one thing I've found, some children who claim that they are transgender are actually just gay, or, tomboys or whatever. And realistically, how would the children know the difference? So, again, that speaks to the whole subject to a medical evaluation, but ultimately, unless there's a pill that you could take that alleviates your dysphoria, there's no better option, Strictly speaking, neither of these options, suicide or, surgery and hormone therapy, are good, per se. It would be better if we didn't have to. But if there's no other way, what are you gonna do? So those are the two topics. Like I said, nothing groundbreaking or game-changing here. I just thought it was interesting that the principles, or at least the principles in the conclusions I've drawn, are actually pretty similar between these topics that you may not think are very similar. Just thought it was interesting.